systems are a go.
Confirming all systems are a go. Launching the podcast.
3, 2, 1.
This is Hello from Mars.
All right, welcome to a brand new episode of Hello from Mars. All the animals are going wild right now in my house.
Honey's looking whale though.
Well, you're real lickable. But my name is Marissa. We're back with Kelly, and you have brought somebody to the table here who you went to high school with.
Yes.
Who's kind of gotten a little creative, right?
Yeah.
So let's bring her in. It's Katie. So I'm gonna admit her.
Do you want my face? It looks really wild.
Yes, we want your face.
Let the face be wild, man.
I'm like, I did Zoom for work when the pandemic first started, and I did it on a computer. And of course I clicked the link and it's like, oh, it's not supported in this browser. And I'm like, I'm using Firefox or not Firefox. I'm like, I'm using Safari. And then I'm like, oh, like, nope. It's like technically like Facebook, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. Hi.
I don't know. You said a whole bunch of things that I don't even think were accurate, and it's fine.
That's literally my whole vibe. I think I said a bunch of things that aren't accurate.
That's a good vibe to have. I feel like, just be in your own world. It's fine. But welcome. I feel like I know you through Kelly. We've got this right here. So I want to chit chat first. Tell me about this relationship. Tell me all the things you know about Kelly from high school.
Kelly knows I had a very high admiration for Kelly. She was best dressed, voted in the yearbook. And very much so in real life. She had every sweater from Delia's. I enviously looked up to her. We were in the same gym class. I was with my older sister. They were in the same grade. And I was just like, wow, that Kelly Borden, she's the coolest.
You know what? That shit's still real. And you know what? She probably still has every sweater from that Delia's catalog. Is there a new Delia's catalog?
The new Delia's is now on Doll's Kill. That's where I get my great shoes. Here's today's episode of my shoes.
Did you watch out? I've had enough things hit me in the head. Jesus. So
my style icon.
Yeah, she is a style icon. You're right. So I want to talk a little bit about your creativity here, because I feel like all of us need that creative outlet. As you can tell, I mean, you can see it right where Kelly is at the moment just by looking at her hair to know where her creativity goes. And you have this beautiful book of poetry. For myself, I mean, I feel like, I paint here and there, but I write as well. But do you feel like you utilize this as a healing therapy in a lot of ways?
I definitely think that's pretty much its only purpose. I have been writing off and on for a long time, but I've struggled because I have a really hard time writing when I'm in a good place. I feel like I only write essentially when I'm in a super bad place. I've tried regular therapy and things like that, but sometimes when you say what you're thinking, it makes you sound a little crazy. So I just write it down instead. And then I was like, well, maybe other people feel crazy. So I'm going to show what I write down to other people so they don't feel like they're all just in their head.
It also helps you realize like you're not alone too. That's what I've noticed over the course of time. My favorite thing was when I did go to therapy, and I so overanalyzed everything in my life that when I went in, the therapist was like, well, it sounds like you've got a pretty good handle on things and that you should just keep doing what you're doing. I'm like, I feel psychotic. You're supposed to not say that to me. Just keep doing what you're doing. Oh, sure. Here's $100. Thanks.
Well,
bye.
you said all the right things. That's the problem.
Well, maybe I should also be a therapist, but that's a lot of schooling. So how long would you say that you've been writing?
I would say probably since sixth grade. I wrote a poem in fifth grade, I remember, for a literary magazine about how I wanted to be an actress when I grew up. And that was the first known memory of it. And then in seventh grade, I got this little award from a teacher. I won Poet of the Year. And then I kind of, public school, unfortunately, I like my school a lot, but you kind of become a number regardless, and I kind of fell through the cracks for a while because I felt like I showed abilities that were above average. But in 11th grade, I had a teacher and she was like, you're so good. And so my senior year, I was in AP English, which is kind of unheard of to have went through regular classes your whole life. And then, and your senior year, like, they're like, well, maybe advanced placement for this one. And it's so full circle. She messaged me on Facebook after I posted that I wrote a book, and she said, I always knew you were going to be famous from the first time I read your writing. So that was sweet.
When did you start writing to just write? Not necessarily because it was like a school project. When did you decide, like, you know what, I'm going to put paper to pen and I'm going to write my feelings, and maybe this will help me out, like feel better? Or what do you remember what spawned it the first time?
No one ever really like listened to me. Like, I'm the youngest of 3 kids. I talk really fast, so I always kind of just wanted to get it out. So I'd say around, like, I was like 14 or 15 when I really started writing. So I sometimes secretly would write really insane things in hopes that like my parents would go through like my notebooks and like find out that I was really sad. That didn't happen, but
Well,
it was a super cry for help.
Respecting your privacy, but maybe a little too much.
That's another podcast, another day.
I mean, we got time.
I'm very outlandish. I mean, most these poems in this book is a very big mixture from like about 2006 until present. So there's poems in there that I purposely didn't date because I kind of wanted you to like use your imagination. I also don't want any boys getting their feelings hurt.
They're so they're so
you gotta leave a little bit up for debate, but there's some poems that would make your skin curl if you knew a 16-year-old child was writing this.
Are you just like sometimes minding your own business, and all of a sudden there's something that pops in your head and you need to write it down that moment?
Yes, I've thought about getting something for my shower so I could write on the wall in the shower. It happens in the shower and when I'm driving, and I can't use my phone when I drive because I am not a strong driver and it's illegal. But I want to just like pop it out real quick.
Yeah.
You gotta do like a talk text.
Yeah, the talk to text. Yeah, the voice text.
Can you imagine deciphering that? I'm like, I for sure didn't mean that. That was not the line. That was definitely not the line.
When I want to remember things, I text my sister, and it has nothing to do with anything I've spoken to my sister about. So she'll get this random text and she's like, yep, she's writing this because she needs to remember it.
I can picture Jill's face, actually. She's probably just like, what? Oh, yeah, this isn't for me. This isn't actually for me at all. You should just text yourself. You realize that you can do that,
No,
right?
but it's easier when you already have a thing open. It's like, all right, text Jill, something completely random.
It's probably doing it right now. So when it came to creating this book, I mean, what finally was like the pushing point that made you decide, you know what, I'm going to put all these together. I'm going to put these in a book. I'm going to put it out to the world.
Obviously, money is like a big thing for a project like this. And I was a little undereducated. I didn't realize that you could just kind of publish whatever you wanted to. You didn't need someone to come to your house with a check and tell you like that they'll pay you to write a book. So I kind of for a while was very naive, and I think it would have happened sooner if I wasn't so. But I have a friend, her name is Jo, and I started hanging out with her, and she was really into poetry, and I said, oh, like you should read some of my work, because I dabbled in posting on Instagram, but had a blog a couple times, but I frequently like delete stuff I post because like I seriously like some shots fired sometimes, and it's usually only that person knows, but like I've had people get their fucking feelings hurt like hard.
But you know what though, it's hard to share that stuff. That's your diary in a lot of ways. That's your interpersonal feelings that you usually don't share to anybody else, and all of a sudden it's like, here it is, it's being shared to everybody.
I'm like, here, read this.
Right. I know that's hard because I've been doing songwriting for a really long time. So like, that's poetry in a much different, well, not much different way, but just to music. And I was working with these guys, to actually make these songs come to life. And it's hard to like say, hey, I wrote this, first of all, it's not only that did I write this, but here's a little scratch track of me doing it. And I'm not really a performer in that kind of way. Some people think I am. I don't feel like that's my strength. I think the writing is the strength. And it was like one by one, me getting the confidence to share that, all of a sudden it was like, oh, you know what, this is really good. Like I didn't get negative feedback really from people. And that's what led to, you know, me actually getting in a studio and recording some of those. But that's like letting go of your security blanket and like getting ready to crap your pants, you know?
Yeah.
It's
I definitely had some friends that were super receptive over the years when I shared, but Joe just was like, I love this. Like, let's write a book. And I started meeting with a guy I used to work with, and he's like my mentor now. And I was telling him, like, you know, I finished the draft. Joe has a 4-year degree in English and journalism. She edited the draft. And it was the hype I needed. Like on some of them, she was like, oh my God, girl, this is the one. Like, you know, and I felt so good. I felt like in a good place. The ball just went right from there.
Sometimes you need that encouragement, right? That builds the confidence a little bit to understand, like, you know what I thought was good, man, it must really be, you know? So then it gives you that extra little push, that little extra oomph to get it to the next level where it wants to, or where it should be. So what's your goal with this book? I mean, first of all, where can people find it? It's called Dinner Date with My Demons. Where's this found?
So right now I'm waiting on my second pressing, or whatever they call it, print, not pressing because it's not a vinyl, but that will be available in like 2 weeks. Right now I honestly ran out of them and I couldn't bring them in for consignment. All good issues to have. They will be available at Market Block Books in downtown Troy, and they'll be available at the Book House in Stuyvesant Plaza. I am also in the works of a show, like a super intimate, like candlelit show in downtown Troy, and I'll post on my Instagram when we're a little closer. I just need to know when the books will be ready before we go on a date for that.
I got you. Oh, we're going on a date.
We're going.
What's the Instagram handle?
At the hole in the hole.
Okay. What was it?
At the hole in the hole. Well,
yeah, like a hole in the hull of a ship.
I'm gonna put it somewhere here. I'll figure it out. That's fine.
Technology.
Yeah, we got it.
Well, girl, I mean, next step is Amazon. I don't know how you do that, but I know plenty of self-published people too that are doing that. So
that is absolutely the next step. And I wanted to keep it true to Troy, and it's a Troy publisher. And I think that has
right there.
Troylet, but
That's what we say.
I think it's time to move on to something a little bit, because you know their margins are just a little bit different. It's not a small business, you know.
Gotcha. Yeah, my Nana says South Troy against the world. So
yes,
true. True. What do you think like the big goals are? If you have your vision board, you know, what's the big goal that's on there when it comes to your writing? What do you hope for the future?
I want as many people as this book touches. I don't, not like a money thing at all. I want everybody in the world to read it. Every boy, every girl, every person, like as long as you're over the age of like probably like 16. I think there's a lot of time like
it's about to get real
and feel not alone.
Yeah. No, it is really important, you know, and I think these creative outlets that we all have, I don't know why.
Stop.
I don't know why Penny keeps licking her elbows. Did you put lotion on?
No. I mean, I showered today.
That might be all she needs. But I mean, I think we all need these creative outlets, and a lot of people sometimes don't know where to put their feelings. And I know for me, writing has always been a good therapy. You know, just to get it out. Because once you get it out, like all of a sudden, it's like you feel a little lighter. You know. So I'm glad. And sometimes it's getting the dye out of the box. To feel a little bit better, a little bit like I can't.
That's called a mental breakdown as a hairdresser. I said that.
Seriously,
very familiar.
I was driving by her one day and I call her and I'm like, "What's going on?" She goes, "Just having a little mental breakdown crisis. Headed to Sally's Beauty. I'll be back." And I just knew that later on that night, her hair was going to be a different color.
Sometimes that's the only thing that heals, baby.
Sometimes
you have control over.